All right, church, day 17. Let's get into it. Get rid of all bitterness, rage, anger, brawling, and slander, along with every form of malice. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as Christ God forgave you. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't like to forgive people. I want to hold a grudge because it's a way of protecting yourself. Let's be honest. If you forgive somebody, you feel like that you just canceled their debt, right? I mean, that's kind of even the words you use. When it comes to this creates a debt-debtor relationship when you've been wronged or you've been hurt or you've been offended. Creates a debt-debtor relationship. And then what's so sinister about it is you hold on to their debt. And you expect it, and this is the way you say it. You'll say things like, they owe me an apology. They owe me something. Because it's a debtor relationship that's been established. The same as when you go borrow money from the bank to buy a house, or when you go borrow money from the bank to buy a car. It's a debt and a debtor, and you have to repay that back over time. And that's how we treat our relationships. And if we're being honest, that is what happens in relationships. When you've been hurt or offended, you've got to imagine that when you've done that to somebody else, that you've created a debt with them. Now, let's look at our perspective. When someone hurts us, they've created a debt with us. And we can force them to constantly try to pay it back. And although we probably isn't conducive for good relationships and certainly isn't going to help them, but if we can think of it from a different angle, if we forgive their debts or cancel their debts, then we can reestablish that relationship. Now, I'm not saying that every time that you forgive and all the places that you need to forgive, you need to expose yourself to unhealthy behavior. I'm not saying that you need to forgive and then take down some of your barriers or guardrails that are keeping you safe. That's not what I'm saying. I'm simply saying that you need to release the debt, because when you forgive each other and you're forgiving to one another the way that the apostle talks about here, there's a freedom that comes with that. Because it's like when you hold on to unforgiveness, you're holding on to the chain. And as you're holding on to the chain, you are confused at why you're still chained up. But when you truly look at it and people see around you, they realize that you're the one holding on to the chain. And you realize, and that's what forgiveness is realizing that you're the one holding on to the chain, and you can choose to let it go. You can choose to release the debt and forgive those who've hurt you. Doesn't mean that you're going to expose yourself again. Doesn't mean you're going to put yourself in that bad position. Simply means that you are going to forgive their debt. So, your prayer focus today. Pray for a forgiving heart. A heart that would strive to forgive. Not a heart that's going to hold on to the pain and hold on to the bitterness and eventually it becoming hatred. And as we all know, hatred leads to the dark side. Master Yoda taught us that. So we don't want to go to the dark side. So forgiveness is the first step in that. So pray today for forgiveness and pray for a gracious and forgiving heart. Love you guys. See you back here tomorrow for day 18.